Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to another Pallavi Market Research video. Today I'm going to be describing how to evaluate performance in the context of how humans judge other humans, right? How do people judge you? How do you judge them, right? I'm going to try to describe this in a way that's extremely simple. Now, I hope you guys aren't too distracted by my alternative setting. I am seeking asylum now that World War III has begun, and I have the second best hair out of everyone in Palaview. Okay, so that is my cross to bear, and we're actually going to be talking about crossing bears or bear crossing. I don't know later in this video. So let's dive into it because I'm going to be describing an idea which I accredit to myself, which is maybe something I do a little bit too often with these videos, but that's something called the humility to ability ratio. It is the ratio between how you how useful you are and how humble you are while doing it, right? Now, I'm going to put this through some American football examples, right? Tim Tebow is a great example of an individual who's highly humble, but is not terribly good at playing football, right? It, w- Professional football. He's obviously good at playing football, so let's not get held up on the details here. But he didn't really make the cut, did he? I think he was playing fullback when he was at the end of his time, right? Johnny Manziel, similarly, is a low ability, but a low humility quarterback, right? So these are the low examples I have for today. And then when we look at the others, like the high ability, right? The high ability examples, we have a Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously low humility, high ability. And then Drew Brees, and that's why everyone loves this guy, is a perfect example of high humility, high ability. But when it comes to greatness, right? When it comes to people who are truly compelling, I really like to think about like this is the guy who always comes to mind, and I don't think, I'm alone. Lionel Messi is like a perfect example of this idea I'm trying to describe. He's someone who walks like even look at him walking. He's just like always got his head down, you know? His humility is shown through his body language, you know what I mean? Whereas Ronaldo, might not actually be like saying cocky things all the time, but his body language shows how cocky he is, you know what I mean? And as the person at the highest ranks of the humility ability ratio, I can tell you that Lionel Messi is also at the top. And I say that with as much humility as possible. That was a good dad joke for you guys. And then obviously in the context of finance, because this is a market research channel after all, Warren Buffett is, he's basically our turtle grandmaster of finance, right? He's our old turtle man who we like to talk about. And he also, like Messi, exemplifies this idea of having low humility, high high ability, right? Excuse me, high humility, high ability, right? Your value to others is very dependent on this, right? You have, like I was saying earlier in the video, you have to be able to bear your cross. You have to, if you like, people don't really realize this, right? But in Christianity, for example, the self-help rules in Christianity are there is responsibility around you. There are things that you can be responsible for immediately around you. Go be responsible for those things and you're going to be okay. That's the self-help book. That's what basically the message of Christianity is in the context of like secular self-help, right? So that's essentially the same idea. You just bear your cross, bro. Go bear your cross, you know? And you want to do it well, right? You want to do it in a highly competent manner. But the issue is you can't be cocky about it, right? Because then you're going to isolate people and they're not going to want to be around you. So you have to be highly humble at the same time. It's a little bit paradoxical. Your utility correlates with your humility, and your humility correlates with your ability because someone who isn't very competent or able, their humility isn't terribly valued, is it? So Warren Buffett is a perfect example of this as someone who's incredibly humble and incredibly able. So I'll leave you with this quote as well. Power is given to those who lower themselves to it. Okay. No one likes the guy who's like reaching for the position, like, "Yeah, I want that job. I want to be president. I want those things." No one likes that. It's gross. It's weird. Okay. It's weird. People like the guy who is like, you know, king of the castle, killing it in life, and then they actually lower themselves to that role. Like there's like Jamie Dimon is a perfect example of this. Jamie Dimon was like in the late 90s was considered the most highly valuable non-employed person in the world, right? And he was like Jeff Bezos was trying to hire him at Amazon and all these things, right? And he literally like there was no job that was available to him that was like worth his salt, to be honest. Like he had the like anything he was going to take was like him lowering himself to it to grow the company to be something that was worthy for him, right? So that's what you want to be. You want to always be in that position because that's an optimal position. You want to be lowering yourselves to positions of power, not reaching for them. That's really icky. Okay. I hope that's helpful. And I hope you enjoyed today's Palavi market research video. And I'll pick this up tomorrow. Big week ahead. See you guys.